G'day guys, how you going? Really good, I hope. Now, I wasn't quite sure whether I would do this video or not. Uh, I want to share this information. I believe stuff of this nature is fairly common, and I'm not coming from a wounded state. I'm not projecting fear or unease at all by doing this. I'm just sharing information, and I would like to think that I'm coming from an empowered state. I certainly feel that way by sharing this information, being able to sit here and talk about different topics, no matter how hard they might be. And you might think that these have a bit of a dark, uneasy, unwanted feeling about them. Some of the photos I'm going to show you and things I'll discuss. Myself, it is what it is, and it just happened. And for me, it's something that I have become aware of in my experience since initiating contact. And these marks on my body that I've come across, some things we're going to go through and discuss, have really, like I said, come into my awareness and have definitely stood out. And it's been noticed as something that, isn't really normal. And so I'd like to share that with you. Now, this photo you're looking at here are my legs, and I noticed these in July of 2017. If you look up on my left leg, there's a nice little gouge mark out of my shin, and my right foot here, down where the cursor is, there's two side-by-side marks. So we'll skip across, there's the two side-by-side marks on my right foot. Skip across, here's my left shin. We'll zoom in on it. Nice little clean gouge mark, there's no scratches around the side. Down the bottom here, it looks to be a little bit of a scratch, but yeah, it looks like a front-on kind of gouge, I suppose you could say. Doesn't really look like I brushed my leg across anything and kicked my shin. If I would have done that, it maybe marks elsewhere. There's a little bit of bruising down below there. There's the two marks on my right foot. My left leg again. My left leg again. Bit of a clearer photo. Some lovely tattoos there. Check them out. How about that? There you go, a little bit of bruising around it. So yeah, just some noticeable marks. And I have seen and heard of other people with very similar marks on their body. And it is connected to contact in a way, I suppose you could say. So this isn't really anything new, but this is just my experience, and like I said, I'm just sharing. So let's keep going. Another shot. Definitely tell they're my legs. Nice and hairy. There we go, another one of the left shin. Left shin. Left shin with the flash. Right foot, too bright, too bright, too blurry. Now here, this is my elbow. This is December 2017, and there's a bit of a weird, looks like a triangle. I'll find a clearer photo. Looks like a bit of a triangle, I suppose. Just something that I've noticed that I don't really remember happening. Now, this is my left foot, and this is June of 2018, just last year, about a year ago. So this photo has been taken probably a week to 2 weeks, probably about 2 weeks after I had noticed two marks on my foot. Now, the best way to, and I'm really kicking myself that I didn't take a photo straight away, but I thought I'd do it before the marks had kind of healed and left my body. Now, these two marks when they were fresh and I had noticed them, it kind of looked like if you get a cup of really thick pumpkin soup, and on top of that ceramic cup or mug, a skin is formed. And there's a nice little line around that skin. Now, it looked like two perfect puncture hole marks side by side with like a soup skin as it was healing. And this was still, while it was still very fresh. And if I could explain it in a little bit more detail, on those two soup skin healing sections looked to be a little flap in the same spot, like a hinge. And that is the best way I can explain it. And this one where the cursor is healed completely fine, no scab. This bottom one I had picked with my fingernail. It was getting itchy and I scratched it off. And that's the only reason why there's a scab there. Because I did not tamper with the one on the right hand side in this image. The one on the left I scratched as it was getting itchy. Otherwise I feel it would have healed completely, perfectly normal like the one next to it. Another angle, lovely tattoo shot. Check him out, he's checking it out. There you go. So there you go, it's nearly healed completely fine within under 2 weeks. Okay, that was June 2018. Now, this is just November of last year, November of 2018. I noticed something in behind my left ear after going out and initiating contact 4 nights in a row during the week. I believe it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday I will not count, so it was really 3 nights in a row, as Monday I just went for a drive and relaxed and at the location I was going to go to the night after. And I went out these 3 nights in a row, initiated contact, meditation, got in the mood, really great time. And every night the phenomenon increased and there was more noticeable contact signs of contact, you could say. And there was visual craft in the sky, sounds on the ground. And I believe it was the Wednesday night, the second or third night I was out, and I was sitting in my chair and I could feel a very strong presence around me. And it was pitch black and I was sitting there in the dark and I could see around me in my peripherals, as I was sitting in the dark, what I would describe as energy. And it was just like a sheet around me of like static in a way. After sitting in the dark for an hour or two, your eyes adjust, and even though there's no moon in the sky, you can still make out objects and stuff moving. And in this, what I would call like a wall of energy, I suppose, or static in my peripheral surrounding me, I could see faint figures moving, like moving past. And it was all very exhilarating, and I was just sort of saying to myself at the time, just kind of keeping my cool in a way, because it was just, different in a way, I suppose. But I had a calmness at the same time. I knew that this was a reaction from initiating contact, and that was really cool. So on that night, around that same time, I had a mosquito flying around my head, and I literally said F word, mosquitoes, and I heard laughter, like a chuckle. That's my big dog Bruiser. Something just ran into the window, if you heard that noise. So I heard a chuckle, and that just put me off. So I heard a chuckle because my dog's inside. I think something just ran into the window. And leaving that week of contact, some other phenomenon happened. There was noticeable lights on the ground within 100 meters flashing. And yeah, my dog is inside, I can hear him. So something just ran into the window, which is, yeah, so quite the week of contact. And I left that week with a lump in behind my left ear, and I could feel an object, and it wasn't sore, it wasn't a pimple, it didn't have a pimple head on it, there wasn't a white head, but it just felt like an object under my skin. And I had it there for about a month, and I said to people, do you want to feel this? And I'd get people to get 2 fingers and rub them behind my ear, and they could feel an object there. And I was living by myself at the time, and I sat in front of the mirror, we'll look at this video, and tried to get a video of it the best I could. So we'll watch that, we'll have a look. So this isn't really clear, it gets a bit clearer. And we'll just pause there. So you can see a bit of a raised area in behind my left ear. Now I respect that I've got a couple little pimply looking things sort of in and around the area just where the mouse cursor is, but there is a noticeable raise in behind my left ear here, and no white pimple head or anything. Now, I'm not jumping the gun or jumping to conclusions or trying to convince myself or anyone of anything. It's just noticeable phenomenon, right? So we'll fast forward a little bit, try and get a bit of an angle as I'm playing with it, with my finger pulling on it. You can see a bit of a raised section there as I'm sort of pulling up on that angle. We'll keep going, still looks raised, there you go. You can see something there under the skin. We'll keep going, still it's raised, there you go. You can see a point. Keep going, just slowly move it forward with the mouse, and you can still see it just sitting there. Boom, there we go. Now I'm pulling sort of more flat out sideways. You can see, still see it sitting there. As you can see how taut my ear is here as I'm pulling it, it's still sitting raised under the skin. There you go. There you go. I'm pulling on it fairly hard there, and you can still see something sitting there. There I am in my bathroom. Here's another video. We'll try and get another angle of it. Sitting in front of the mirror trying to check it out for myself. Kind of, you can still see it there raised. Maybe a little bit red after I've been tugging and pulling at my ear. And there we go. Still, you can see something there. Now I respect I got a couple pimples sort of around that area in my ear, but there was a noticeable raised object under the skin. There you go. So, like I said, that's a bit full on, I suppose, for some people, and I haven't really shared this with anyone. And I wasn't quite sure whether to put it on the internet, because this is not what most people really think about or are aware of in their awareness in their day-to-day lives. But to some people, this isn't anything uncommon, and especially considering that I am connected and a part of this contact process, and I actively go out by myself and have been for a bit of time, and playing around with these contact protocols and trying different things. For me, this isn't a shock, and but still, it was really really caught my attention, and really took my awareness to say, yeah, there's something with that. And I took note as I took photos at the time. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope it helps someone else out there who is a part of this. And like I said, I am not sitting here coming from a victim state. I'm coming from an empowered state and wanting to share this information. So cheers, guys. G'day, guys. So it's about a week later. Just had a week at work, and I've put some thought in about the video I made, and I just want to do some follow-up information, I suppose you could say. That implant that was in my left ear, that object under the skin, it dissolved about a month to 6 weeks later. It wasn't there, it just went straight back to normal. There was no going down of the raised lump, it was just like it wasn't there. And that triangle that was on my arm, I was living by myself at the time, and there was a little bit of weirdness that I was starting to notice, and I told my wife, who was working elsewhere, we were both working and living in different locations, that I'd run into something. So that's kind of where my head was at, even though I knew that there was something going on. And yeah, so that's just to follow up on those two situations. That object that hit the window as I was just filming inside, that was actually the second bird that hit the window, that exact window that day as well, which is a bit uncanny, because a bit weird, because that doesn't usually happen. So a little bit of high strangeness there. Two birds hitting the window in one morning, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, I just would like to reiterate the fact as well that situations like this, the high strangeness, the marks on the body, it does create a little bit of unease, but still the large majority of my thoughts and curiosity relating to this topic, going out and initiating contact, it's a lot stronger. And I am the first to admit, I am a big scaredy cat. Truly, I really am. But still, I'm finding myself going out and initiating contact, and most of the time I do that by myself. And yeah, so it hasn't really deterred me from wanting to do that. I just thought I'd add that in, even though most people would stop at the thought of this being a possibility that it could happen to you. But it's kind of an enter at own risk, and in saying that, I don't believe there is malevolence behind all of these situations and things that I've experienced. There could be a reason for it, and I'm not sure. And I suppose a part of my curiosity is learning more, finding out more answers, I suppose you could say. So yeah, I just really wanted to add that on at the end of this video, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. So yeah, I'll just put that out. Yeah, cheers guys. Thank you very much.